welcome to DasGeek. This is exciting because I get to share with you guys something that I've learned in the audiophile world, and just like learning Linux or anything computer related, there is so much to fill your brains with in the audiophile world. And today what I'm bringing you is a DAC amplifier by Monoprice. I'm going to talk about DACs and amplifiers, why they're important, and why I love them for things like driving these beautiful ATH AD900Xs by Audio-Technica. These are my favorite headphones on the planet. And if you want to get the full potential out of these, you're going to need something like this DAC here to really push them to their potential. And that's what we're going to get into in this video, and also talk about how good the Monoprice is for the cost of about 89 bucks, which is a very, very cool price for what this thing can deliver. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we need to cover is, well, what is a DAC? And the DAC stands for digital to analog converter. And basically, to put it in layman's terms, you are not going to be able to have a speaker read ones and zeros. And because of that, it needs to be converted to an analog signal. Now, there's all kinds of mathematical equations and things that go into that. But essentially, having a good DAC means that the conversion time between that digital and analog signal is near perfection. And if that's perfect, then of course you're getting a cleaner signal all the way through. So everything uses a DAC. That plays any digital files. Your phone, your tablet, PC, car CD player, they all utilize DACs, but not all DACs are created equal. Your motherboard that has a sound card in it has a DAC. So you might be going, well, why would I want an external one? And that, again, is because not all things are created equal. Your motherboard is like a Swiss Army knife at this point. It's got all of these tools within it, and all of them do the job, the function, like a Swiss Army knife has a screwdriver, but not as well as if you had a separate screwdriver actually in your hand. It's just the convenience of having everything together like your motherboard. So now what we're doing is we're kind of getting that separate tool out, and that's what this external DAC is to accomplish. The problem with the DAC inside your motherboard likely is that it has a poor conversion capability, and that can introduce unwanted noise during the playback. And if it has, cheaply designed circuitry, because again, they're just trying to give you that functionality, it can create things like distortion and jitter, and that's going to create bad timing between the conversion, and you're going to notice that in the quality of your music. Now, this comes especially true when you start moving away from cheap MP3 files and going into the higher end music, which is another way you can really change the experience of your music listening, is to move away from these highly compressed formats like MP3 and getting into the uncompressed formats like FLAC, and you'll start really opening up and being wrapped in a blanket of warm musical goodness if you can get all of these things working together. So step one, we need a good digital to analog conversion. Step two, we need the amplification needed to push higher end speakers and headphones. And number three, we need good quality format music to listen to begin with. Now, all of this comes together and has to go up against your budget, which of course that's the most difficult part, because there are obviously DACs and headphones and speakers and all this stuff that get into the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. But what we're talking about here is improving the bass sound without spending all that kind of money. At least I can't spend that kind of money. So we're working with the equipment we have, and we're going to talk about the experience you can get with that. So the next thing we need to talk about is amplification, or the amp part of this DAC. So we know what a DAC does. What does the amp do? Well, it amplifies the signal. It gives the proper power to the speakers, whether it's inside headphones or external speakers, so that you can give them the power that they need to drive these properly. And that means you don't have your bass and treble and your soundstage kind of rolling off or sounding flat or muddy, especially with higher end headphones that are capable of having truly beautiful mids and highs and lows. And a lot of times people have these devices underpowered. The impedance that they have with the headphones is not matched with the amplification that they have, and as a result, they're underpowering their headphones and getting a very sad signal. So, for instance, these are rated at 38 ohms, and if you were trying to push them through your phone or other devices, it will work. It just will not be able to open them up to their full potential. Okay, so now we get into the actual device itself. So we have the Monoprice 111 or 1156715 something 11567. They really need to come up with a better naming convention than this. I mean, like Spitfire or Fireball or something would be much more preferred. But in any case, this is the device here. And you can see on the front, we have our 4th-inch headphone jack. And of course, on these headphones, this is just utilizing an adapter. This actually comes with the Audio-Technica, but you may need that adapter if you only have 3.5 millimeter headphones there. You've got a nice volume rocker, which has very good resistance, so you're not accidentally going to turn it up and blow your eardrums away. So nice resistance there. And also, if it goes all the way down, and you can click it off, and that's the way you turn the device on and off. On the front here, we have a USB DAC and auxiliary in toggle switch. So we can just simply flick that switch and we can move between the USB DAC and auxiliary in, which is very nice. So overall, the device is pretty big. It's about 5 inches long, 4 inches across, 2 inches high. So it's a pretty big device. It's comparable to the size, if you were to move the Focusrite long ways, it's comparable to the size of a Focusrite sitting on your desk. So it's a pretty big device overall. It's lightweight. It's made of metal. It's very, very nice in that way. On the back is where we get our real differentiator from other DACs that I've used. For instance, we have the auxiliary in here, we have the line out, and we have the pre-out available for us to utilize. We also have a gain switch. So if you need additional power for the headphones that you're running, maybe you have some Bear Dynamics at 600 ohms or something along those lines, or very powerful speakers, you can flick that gain switch up and get some additional power. So if you're noticing low levels of volume or something like that, you could utilize that nice toggle switch there. You have your USB in, and this is driverless. So this will work with Linux. It'll work with Mac. It'll work with Windows. It'll work with any operating system. Right now, I use it with Linux, and it works fantastic in Ubuntu 18.04 beta. And we have a power in here. You do need separate power for this device to run. But that's not all. So that's just the device, but how does it sound? Well, paired with the Audio-Technica's headphones, it sounds amazing. It's able to push them and power them to give me the full power of these headphones and capabilities at the same exact rate that I believe that the Olympus 2 FIO DAC that I had before was giving me. So it's not necessarily an improvement over that. It's the same, but the improvement is that I have additional jacks so that I can add other speakers to it, external speakers, which I have some really unique ones, not super expensive, but really good ones, at least based on the ratings coming, that I can't wait to share with you guys. So we'll check those out as well and add them into this device and see how well it powers them. So it opens up the full sound stage, and that's amazing. Now, if you're going to get a DAC, if this is your first DAC, here is what I recommend that you do. Go listen to your favorite song on your computer, whatever song means something to you, where you know the highs, the lows, the drop points, and the different instruments and vocals. You know, it could be Sound of Silence from Disturbed, something awesome with lots of range. And listen to that song like you normally would. Then add in your DAC and listen to that same song and listen for those same drops and see how everything kind of expands out. Especially if you have a good pair of headphones, that's another key. Then you're going to start noticing that, you know, the highs completely fill out. They don't drop off. The lows completely fill out. You'll start hearing things like the breathing in the background or breaths in between the singer being able to say or saying the certain words. It's just a really unique experience. And then if you want to add further to that, do that same thing, but do it between an MP3 and a FLAC file. So MP3 being very compressed and a FLAC file not being as compressed of a digital format. You're going to hear a huge difference between that as well. And between all of those things, having a DAC, a good pair of headphones, and uncompressed music, you're going to have a whole new level of appreciation for music, a whole new level of experience, whether you're working, coding, doing college homework, whatever it is, it's going to bring you into a new world. And that's really the purpose of this. And you could do it for not a lot of money. Now, some people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this stuff, and that's fantastic. They can take all their thousands of dollars of equipment and drive around in their Lamborghini along with it and have perfect sound. But for the rest of us, we have to look for value here, and this is really good value at $80. These headphones and most of the stuff you can get used or refurbished, and get a really good price on, including the headphones, which I have, which retail for, I think, about $299, but you could get them way cheaper than that now. So look for deals on this stuff, and you can get it for a great price and have some fantastic sound. Let me know in the comments below what kind of audio equipment you use. What is your favorite DAC, desktop DAC or portable DAC that maybe you carry with you? What are your favorite pair of headphones? And until next time, get out there and fill your brains.